Right. Welcome, friends. Welcome, friends. We're so excited to be in this conversation today. So we are in Be the Light podcast, and we're featuring light workers who chose to step into between fear and love, stepping into love and light and spreading light in this time. So today's episode is very, 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 very special because we are in the presence of grace there. So if you notice, I've been posting a lot of work about energy work and the work that I do, um, and humbly and happily sharing this space. So we have invited a very important person, no other than our teacher himself. So she is if you Google Rainbow Reiki, because every time I share this is the work that I do, people are quick to Google, what is Rainbow Reiki? And then we'll see there, oh, it's Walter Lübeck. So he is no less than the founder of Rainbow Reiki. But to give him a proper introduction, is that fair? I'll share with you more about what he uh, does. So Walter has been born in Germany in 1960. He is a spiritual teacher, and just after high school graduation in the military, he served under several years studying economics and has successfully did employment. He actually had an encounter with a good spirit by age 2. Imagine that, guys. And right now, he has his own center, Rainbow Reiki Center in Germany. But in the pandemic, what actually happened was it allowed him to spread the work that he does all over the world online, and the first time ever in the Philippines. Yeah. So actually, when I share this and people benefit from it, with love, I don't expect people to understand it right away because it's new in the Philippines. But of course, we are honored to bring this healing modality. Walter is actually a sought after healer in Europe. So we're going to hear more about his journey. Okay. So for those in the spiritual space, may I just guide you that Walter is trained in the Western and Japanese Reiki tradition. So that's what context to what he does. So he really deep dive into the even the science actually of Reiki. So he intensively researched the Usui system of natural healing. Okay, so in its roots and possibilities, and from this he developed the Rainbow Reiki School, and this has been existing for over 30 years. So note that Walter wrote 25 books, guys. It's not just one book. It's not just 2 books, but 25 books. And most of them are spiritual books. And it's translated officially in 20 languages and unofficially 32 languages. So we're really in the midst of greatness, right? So let's look about the lineage. So the West, his West lineage is Usui, Hayashi, Takata, Furumoto, and Muller. And then from the Japanese lineage, it's Usui, Hayashi, Chiyoko, and Yamaguchi. And then there is Walter Lübeck, also formed and brainchild Rainbow Reiki. So we students under you are very honored because we're next to your lineage. You see that lineage, Walter, and then it's Reena and my classmates in the first batch. So of course, for all of you are interested in this space and would love to serve in this capacity, we're going to talk about that, how that can also be an opportunity. Good? Is that fair for everyone? So also note that beyond all of these, Walter is also a recording artist. So is it okay? Maybe later you're going to share with us your musical talent. So he is very much musically inclined in drums, and he's also a vocalist. So talk about being a multi-dimensional being, right? So we really
Yes,
want to
definitely.
embrace this beautiful, divine, powerful spiritual warrior inside a human body. And that's what we are celebrating today as Walter, the founder, as we welcome in this conversation the founder of Rainbow Reiki, Walter Lübeck.
Thank you so much, Reena. Thank you.
All
That's
right.
very good.
So Walter, I'm so honored to that you gave us the time here. So we are talking at the time that it's right now in this conversation. It's 11 in the Philippines. Walter woke up early for us, guys. So it's 4 a.m. German Berlin time, and he honored us with this conversation. So is it okay? We dive right in to get to know you more. Wonderful. So Walter, what were you doing before you discovered or had an awakening about the thing, the mission, your soul mission that you are called to do in this time?
Mhm. Well, Reena, I had I had a let's say normal youth. I was in school, in high school, and I was playing in bands and had a lot of shows. And then I was in the military and also later on studying economics. And then together with two partners, I was founding a corporation, and we produced plastic parts for the oil and mining industry. And during this time, I more and more became melancholic, depressed, and I had no apparent reason because my life was great. I had a great car, a great wife, a great apartment. I had 2 times per year holidays for 3 weeks and lots of money. And I thought, what's wrong? Come on, you know? And then I was getting ill, and due to the illness, I was introduced to a naturopathic doctor. And in the practice of the doctor, I got to know about Reiki, and he just told me there is a class about that in about 4 weeks' time. You need to go there. I said, yeah, but what it's all about? What is Reiki? At that time, that was the end of the 80s, there were no books around. He said, I won't tell you, it's good, go there. So I booked the class. I had no idea what was happening there. So when I got there were plenty of people in a small room and a master coming from Frankfurt, a big city several hundred kilometers ago. And they initiated me and we did hands on healing. They thought, that's weird. These people are weird. You know, I had some spiritual experiences before, but for me, it was like a hobby, something you read about or something which you occasionally experience, but nothing like a profession. Now, first time in my life, I was running into someone who had this as a profession. And I thought, that's interesting. And then right after the class, I was treating people, friends, friends of friends, somebody who came to me because they heard about me. And I got more and more trust in Reiki. And I felt that when I do Reiki, my heart opened. And I felt that I was, in a way, elevated. So it was a very interesting time. Whenever I gave Reiki, I felt my heart opening, and I thought, this is such a great gift. I need to go to second degree. And I was planning that. But in fact, then my girlfriend at that time, she got ill and she was planned to go to surgery next day. Now, in the evening, I treated her, and our Reiki master gave her a distant treatment, and it was quite intense. And then my girlfriend was going to sleep. Next morning, she had no symptoms anymore. And so she was going to the doctor. The doctor said, if I wouldn't have examined you yesterday, I would have thought that you were just telling me something which is not right. But I know that I have made a diagnosis and you were supposed to be on surgery, but there is nothing anymore, so you can go home. And I thought, I need to learn that, to do that distant healing. So Some weeks later, I was studying with my master second degree Usui Reiki, and I did even more of the healings. And the more this was successful when I was treating, I thought, I need to become a teacher. I need to teach that. I want to make this a part of my life. I belong there, you know? So I studied for more than a year with my master. I was driving to Switzerland, to Austria, several places in Germany, France, and so on. And then I got initiated into master teacher degree. And a few weeks later, I started with my first class because in between I had rejected my partnership in the industry, started a spiritual magazine for the northern half of Germany, which had 15,000 copies per month. And I reached out to many people. At that time, this was exotic. Most people had no idea where to get into a class. So I made a kind of advertising section and was writing about the different teachers who were giving classes. This was quite new. And so I got into giving classes myself and I started to write my first book. In fact, it was based on a year-long ongoing education for Reiki, and I had manuscripts. And I was sending this to the publishing house, which I liked much because the books were very colorful and I loved their appearance. And they said, well, that seems to be good. You just need to work a little bit on it because it looks like a manual, not like a book. And in about 4 weeks' time, you need to finish because you want to put it to the Frankfurt Book Fair. They thought, what? Because I didn't really think that they would consider my book being published. So they said, come on, write it, we get it out. And then they told me some weeks before Frankfurt that it's a big problem because the booksellers, the professional booksellers, they didn't want to touch the Reiki topic. They said, that's buhai, that's a hoax, that's abracadabra, don't go there. So the publishing house told me, do you know anything which can make them experience that it's real? They said, well, I will develop something. So my spiritual guides told me something, and I treated the booksellers on the fair there, and they were so impressed that from that moment on, the Reiki books were getting into the bookstores. Before, you could only get them when you were in a class. And after the book fair, they had them all over the place. So that was my introduction to the Reiki community. And still today, 35 years later, I'm happy that I did that because that's my vocation. That's what I am, you know?
Absolutely. I think that's really a testament that everything works for you really based on the intention. So even if there are things blocking, if your intention is pure, things just really conspire for you to do that. And we're really honored, and I really honor you for the work that you do, Walter, because I have clients right now, even outside the Philippines, and I know they're also going to listen to this. So it's 7 o'clock, 7 a.m. my time, and sometimes 7 p.m. their time. So it's so beautiful how we can really support each other, and especially in this time that we are in this shift of consciousness, right?
Mhm.
From ego to light. So it's so beautiful, and I really enjoy um this training that you get, and with also all the colors. And it's so beautiful that actually the recipient receives the energy quite fast, the treatment or the healing quite fast. So,
Mhm.
and okay, so Walter, you also mentioned that uh, oh, by the way, we have not mentioned that you have actually very vast experience or learning. You are a serial learner as well. You have background on Usui Reiki, Kiden Reiki, Shiatsu, NLP, linguistic programming, Silva mind control. It's also interesting. Non-violent communication, tantra massage, Tai Chi Chuan, and various international martial arts, homeopathy, hypnosis, hypnotherapy, quantum healing, crystal work, and Virana color, and holistic business consulting. So it's really a very multi-dimensional approach to what you do. But what's beautiful is you're able to like capsulize it in an in a thing, in a very like everyday, just normal kind of thing. That is just treatment to whatever is uh imbalance in the mind, body, spirit. So will there if you even have any feeling of memory, do you have a low point in your life that that led you to your mission? Or is
Yes.
it something that you just received?
No, it was
Okay.
it was a low point in my life, as I mentioned right before, when I was working in the plastic industry for mining and oil drilling and so on. I had, from the material point of view, I had a great life. I earned lots of money. I had a great car, a beautiful wife, an apartment, a penthouse, and so on. And I was getting more and more depressed. In fact, I was close to suicide, and I had no apparent reason. And if I would not have met Reiki and found my vocation, I don't know whether I still would be there, because I had the feeling that whatever I was doing, it was quite successful in the material understanding, but I did not feel that this was me. And so I tried to find something, but then Reiki found me, because come on, that's such a coincidence. Because I was in psychotherapy, I was recommended to a naturopathic doctor, and the naturopathic doctor got into a class with Reiki, and he recommended Reiki to me because he organized the class. That is so weird. And when I got into this class, I had the impression that even if it was exotic, that was me. So Reiki was helping me to get out of the depression, because now I had something real in my life. That was that was exactly me. It's my vocation. And what I did before was a good job. It's a good company, a good job, but for someone else. So I needed to go into the spiritual community and serve them. And that's what I do until today. And that's what I want to do for the rest of my life.
Walter, how is it possible that this conversation is so relevant in this time now when people are actually um, trying to function in their everyday life, but there's really feeling of like there's so many blessings that, but generally the collective like feeling is of like loss or depression or something's down. So, and what's beautiful is you become the product of your own product. Like you are the product of your own product because it worked for you. And I also want to be able to affirm that I so relate to that because the time that that Rainbow Reiki actually found me or Reiki found was also the time that in the pandemic I was also like losing my life force. Like, but it cannot be because I need to function as a mom or and as a daughter and as a spouse. So we need to be able to manage our energy. And I think maybe that's the work that we do is to really just support so that you can um, pull back in your energy so that you can give more. That's so beautiful, Walter. Thank you for sharing that low point in your life because it makes us also relate to this to your journey. And I also noted that you mentioned that from your ex girlfriends, you're able to help treat her with the illness. Are there any also like things that you remember that people were blessed that you yourself are amazed that you become like a conduit of how they are blessed by the work that you do?
Well, you see, Reena, during the last 35 years, I was teaching about 20,000 students in 15 countries. because I traveled a lot. I traveled so much by plane, by train, by car, and I treated even more people. And over the time, I was experiencing miracle after miracle. And in the beginning, when I started with Reiki, in the first year or two, when people came to me and asked me, "Do you think it's a good idea to treat with Reiki?" I tried to think about whether it's a good idea or not. But later on, I realized, hey, we have no idea. So I said, when they asked me, "Do you think it's worth doing Reiki here?" I don't know, let's try. So because I've seen so-called hopeless cases, and when people were treated with Reiki and they were really making their minds up and changing direction, miracles happened. Things like they had the multiple sclerosis, and officially in official medicine they say you cannot heal that. It's impossible. But I know people who had once multiple sclerosis in the beginning of the 90s, and for decades now they are without any symptoms. The same goes with cancer. The same goes with Parkinson's disease and so on. Does this mean that everybody will be healed when we treat them with Reiki? No, because every path is individual. And still, I experienced so many miracles that I frankly have no idea whether this person will receive a miracle healing or not. So I don't know. Let's try. And that's my approach.
It, isn't it a wonderful ride, right? So it's really opening up to this. It's actually in your textbook, right? Like discover the miracle healing within. So you can
Yes.
also like guide our friends, our audience on how you can describe Rainbow Reiki, Reiki in a when you express it or share it just to a layman who doesn't have background on it. How would you describe it?
Yeah, I would differentiate between Reiki, the energy, and Rainbow Reiki, the system or the school, because there are many schools which do healing work, excellent healing work based on the energy Reiki. The energy Reiki is called in Chinese terms Ling Qi, and is mentioned even about 2,500 years back, for example, by the author and Taoist scholar Mengzi or Mencius. And this energy has a very interesting quality. It supports the natural process of life. Though that's what Reiki is doing. And I was doing a lot of research in China about that. I traveled Hong Kong, for example, and because of my martial arts contact, I was able to have discussion with the Qigong masters of advanced levels about Ling Qi. And they told me, of course, we know about Ling Qi, but we do not get an initiation for that. We need to develop it. And they told me how they do it. It's a lengthy process. And in fact, it goes back to the Wu shamans of ancient China, who were for about close to 1,000 years the the contributors of wisdom to the courts of the kings and of the dukes in ancient China. And what they did was to receive their famous healing powers in springtime. They were going on one of these holy mountains of China. They have plenty of them. And they were meditating there for 3 weeks and fasting, not eating. And then they received the gift of healing. Does this sound familiar? I think Uzui did something the same time. And when I was studying and researching Reiki, I was understanding that this energy is neither yin nor is it yang. It appears whenever yin and yang meet. So it helps yin and yang to transform into each other. in a way according to divine order. So this is why they say that Reiki is a non-polar energy. So Reiki is not intelligent. Reiki is not a being. Reiki is an energy. And the Qigong masters in Hong Kong told me that Ling Chi, or Reiki in Japanese terms, is the quartermaster for the divine key, for which they call Shinki. So that means it is not per se the divine energy, it invites the divine energy. So there is an interesting process when you do Reiki, because Reiki does not go against your free will. So Reiki is there, and if you pull it in, it comes to you, and if you don't, it doesn't. So when people get initiated into Reiki and they treat themselves with Reiki, there is this influence from the energy that your natural process of life is being supported. And then there is the ego. And the ego says, no, 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 we don't do that. We do it the proper way, like we have been educated. So if people do not give in to Reiki at a certain time and say, well, I've been educated to do this and to do that, and Reiki tells me different, so I will follow Reiki. Then they have kind of tension inside of them, a stress, because Reiki says go there, and the ego says go there. So in my school, Rainbow Reiki, we have an extensive teaching about personality development, because you need to make your mind up to embrace Reiki fully. Otherwise, Reiki cannot do the whole job for you. So in Rainbow Reiki, which is my school, we have more than 20 different classes coming with extra initiations, symbols, mantras, mudras, and of course, energy work techniques. For example, we have energy work techniques for straightening the hips within some seconds, for deleting allergies, for helping the atlas vertebra to get into harmony back again, to help to harmonize the navel, which is a big scar, in fact, and many other things, which seem to be miraculous, and in a way they are, because they are a gift from divine, and I got to use them. And if you ask me, how exactly does it work? I can say I have no idea. I know how to make it work, and the spirits told me it will work, so I did it, and it did work also. But it's a miracle. So my Rainbow Reiki school is a school of miracles. I teach people to invite miracles. So I have a slogan for this, and I mean it. Rainbow Reiki, discover the power of miracle healing within you, because you do the miracle. So when I apply Reiki to someone, this is just encouraging them to invite miracles. They invite the miracle. I just accompany them. And that's what I think is important, that we understand. We are not doing the big thing. That's the creator, that's the light beings. We are inviting. We are inviting the miracles. We say, please, let's come down here, dear angels, and bring us miracles. And in these times, Reena, we have wars all over the world. We have the nuclear threat. We have the toxins in the environment, the radiation, and so on and so forth. We need miracles. How else should we get rid of all that stuff? Only miracles can do that work. So we invite miracles.
Yeah. It's so beautiful how you express it. And so did you guys catch that? It's discover the healing miracle within. Because the fact that you say as the receiver, you're ready, you're opening yourself up. So that's why you receive it faster and really feel it in the body, in the mind, and the spirit. And I really affirm to that, and that's why we're having this conversation. Because it doesn't matter who I talk to, it doesn't matter if they know it or not, as long as they like ready to receive, miracles really happen. So thank you so much, Walter, for your gift. Oh, and then second, before the last question, where we'll be um, sharing where we can reach you or all through Sanmitsu. Um, Walter, if I may, because I think there's a like we want to put in context um, the energy work and that it's not like religious in nature. Is that right? How can you kindly, how do you express that? That energy is not religious in nature. How do you
You
express
see,
that?
you see, electricity is not religious. It's just there. The wind is there, the water is there, the moon is there, the stars are there. So energy is just there. It does not belong to a certain religion. It is spiritual in nature. What does spiritual mean? It means it belongs to Creator. And the name I use for the Creator, that might be Allah, it might be the Lord, it might be Shiva, whatever. This is something which humans are concerned about. You know, I'm in contact with the angels since I'm 2 years old. And whenever I ask the angels about religions and about hell and devils and demons and so on, they said, we have no idea. You humans, you talk about that. But there is no hell, there is no devil, there are no demons, and we don't care about religions. If you care about religion and you make it a path of love, we are fine. So please feel free to do that. But we do not belong to a religion. So I never met an angel who says, I'm a Hindu, I'm a Christian, I'm a Buddhist, or whatever. They said, I'm an angel. So Reiki is related to Creator. And if you are a Buddhist, or you are a Hindu, or you are a Muslim, or a Christian, it will support you with your faith. It will support you understanding your faith in a loving way. And that's, for me, is the core of each religion. So if there is a misunderstanding, people start to be aggressive with their religion. But if they understand the religion, then they get into love. So I studied, for example, Islam, because there is many prejudice about Islam. I studied Christianity, I studied Judaism and Hinduism and Buddhism. And what I found when I studied Islam is not war and crime and so on. I found it's a religion of peace, like any other religion. It's just that people forget this sometimes. So they should get back to the real thing, to the core of the religion. And there you find love and peace and harmony. So this for me is the core. And Reiki can support everybody on that path. So Reiki is not related to any religion. And by chance, it happened to get into our world by a Japanese guy. But is it Japanese? No, it's not. It's universal. So if Uzui would have been a Russian, it would be Russian. If he would have been a Norwegian, it would have been Norwegian. So he was a Japanese. People don't have to study Japanese culture. They need to be with Reiki. This is the path, in my understanding.
Absolutely. We're really like um, embracing like more of this understanding that regardless of religion, it just really comes from a place of love, of that understanding that we are one as we move from as humanity moves from ego to unity consciousness, that you and I would just share the same, it would just handhold one person because we underwent the dark times as well. So what I also understand about the work that we do is it's just a way to like support those especially awakening in this time, because spiritual awakening is not really like a walk in the park. All right. So and that's what we are here to serve. Oh, you know, Walter, may I just also share with you? I received a download before I enrolled in your program that my soul mission, like even before I was equipped with Reiki and Rainbow Reiki, I received a download, a very clear, vivid download that one of my soul, no, not one, my soul mission is to activate and empower light workers in this time. So I didn't know about that, but with this tool, what I understood also is that all of us are called to step into our life, to stand up and to who you are, serve boldly. There are programming and ego, right, on the way. So that's also what I see that the work that we do. Like hashtag that's less ego, more light, less fear, more love, less the worry, more jumping to the unknown, just serving. There's also how you feel about the work that you do. So thank you so much, also Walter. And now we just experienced Walter as a spiritual teacher, everyone. So how can our audience connect with you? Do you have any project or you'd like for them to follow you? I know you have a YouTube channel. Go ahead, Walter.
Yeah, I have a YouTube channel with close to 600 videos in 3 or 4 languages. I think 4 languages. And many of the videos are me doing mudras and energy transmission for people focused on specific topics. So everybody can enjoy that. It's for free. Then I have a website, walterlubeck.com. And there you can see my German and English language classes, which I give on the internet regularly. And I will do this year another 2, maybe 3 events, longer events in time zones which are comfortable for Philippines. So there are Philippine organizers from me, and I'm so happy about that. I love to do that. And it's, I think, the beginning of June, where I give Rainbow Reiki 1 again, and then later on Rainbow Reiki 2, and something about my chakra energy cards. I did this set of cards here. And also, I give a free class in a few weeks' time. And it's about, do you need to be Japanese to do proper Reiki? So people can come to my classes. I teach usually in German and English, parallel. And I teach also classes just about something in plain English. And in a few weeks, there will be a class, a 1-day class about the chakra energy cards in just English. Of course, that will be European time. But if people like to get up very early, then they can join, of course. And there are my books, which you can get via Amazon or other booksellers. And of course, you can join me spiritually if you just put your hands together and think about me and ask for advice, then advice will come and healing will come. I'm enlightened and spiritually realized since I'm started to do Reiki in the beginning of the 90s. And it was quite a ride. It was quite a ride because I wasn't prepared. Absolutely not. And later on, I understood that when people were inviting me, they get a better connection to their own guardian angels, for example. So it's not really me. I'm just an intermediator, and I'm happy about that. So that's what you can do. And of course, I have a Facebook channel, and I'm on Instagram. And soon I will be on TikTok with several videos, but that will take about a month or so. So if you want to contact me, just go onto the internet. I'm there, and I teach worldwide via Zoom.
Absolutely. So thank you so much, Walter. And we also want to honor Sanmitsu. We have a very loving team of light workers and Reiki practitioners also. Uh, they brought Walter to teach us. So we are actually the first. Walter, I was walking and I thought to myself, Lord, how is this possible that we're the first generation of Rainbow Reiki practitioners here in the Philippines? So how amazing is that we're able to serve in this way? And your life is a gift. You just had your birthday, actually.
Thank you.
So we want to celebrate your life. Also, Walter, happy birthday month as well.
Thank
So
you.
thank you so much for joining us today. So, in ending, what is your message to the world in this time?
Well, my message is that, well, I'm longing for world peace, and my vision is that we, the light workers, make this wonderful planet Earth a paradise for all beings again. And my mission is to do my very best to train the best spiritual healers you can get, and that there is at least one spiritual healer in any street, so that there is access to spiritual healers all over the world. And this is not against school medicine. I see this as two different sides of the same story, because of course we need the regular school medicine and we need the spiritual medicine. And that's what I try to contribute.
So beautiful, Walter, and it's so beautiful that you're showing up because the people already just shows up as well. So thank you so much. This has been a very activating conversation. So for you guys who are also listening, feel free to send your love, your message, what you got from this conversation as well. Bless Walter with what was within you that's activated, or what message you see for your life today, right? So these are fair energy exchange. Thank you so much again, Walter, and see you guys in the next episode. Bye bye.
Thank you, Reena.